What we have in front of us really is a bill at the behest of a few very privileged individuals that really does a disservice to the 90,000 plus people who are going to be footing the bill. And the reason I say it's a disservice isn't because these people are going to be able to have more skilled workers. I wish that were the case. The reason it's a disservice is because this bill actually, and we haven't talked about this, but this bill doesn't have any true sideboards. As a matter of fact, Madam Speaker, the only thing that we can guarantee is that someone who is using this grant will not be able to get a theology degree, which is a very Washington thing to do, by the way. But, Madam Speaker, there is no guarantee in this bill, not one, that we will produce more doctors, more nurses, more pharmacists, more healthcare workers. There is no guarantee we'll produce more coders. There is no guarantee we'll have more engineers and mathematicians and scientists, because the bill literally allows you to get whatever degree you want. And my point is not that we should minimize other degrees. My point is not necessarily that one degree is better than another. But if we are going to take from a group of people on the premise that we need a more highly skilled workforce, it only makes sense that our deliverable, the thing we give back to those people who paid, is a more highly skilled and trained workforce.
We keep saying this is going to be free. It's really not free. It's just that the people who are getting the money aren't having it taken out of their account. It's being taken out of someone else's account.
This is a $1 billion tax increase. It's raising taxes on job creators, the very people responsible for growing our budget in the first place. We're going to go back and ask them to continue to give us even more money. We've been rewarded with record revenue growth in this state. The budget has grown by about 50% since I was elected, and that was just 4 years and 100 and something days ago since I was sworn in.
This is going to hurt those employers, especially in the rural communities. We know that. We've heard that. We've seen it.
I'm thinking about those middle-class families who are going to be taxed to the point that they won't be able to provide higher education for their own students. I think about all of those who are going to carry the burden of this $1 billion tax increase. 90-some thousand businesses across this state. And I'm concerned about them. And it defies logic that we are asking these businesses to expand for our future workforce, but yet we are taxing them to the point where they won't be able to expand.
I worry about the one side where we're going to lose companies who are going to move out because we're putting them at a disadvantage by being a business in Washington. And on the other hand, we're going to set up a system where students aren't going to be invested in their own education, and they're not going to put in the time and energy necessary because there's no consequence to them if they don't.
This has got huge unintended consequences. And this was not done in a bipartisan manner. I mean, we had a number of amendments that would have really helped this bill. And that's the thing, is on this side, we want to help the struggling mothers, like what I was. We want to make it so that they can help make it through college and not have huge debt like I did. That's not the question. The question is this bill the right method?
Several years ago, Republicans led the way in a first-in-the-nation across-the-board tuition cut that helped all Washingtonians. I think Republicans on this side of the aisle would say that we don't need to raise taxes to increase the accessibility and affordability of higher education. This should be one of the very first things we do in the budget. And it's also one of the things that we should do in the budget, not in a separate standalone bill that can die at any point in the legislative process.
Earlier this session, I stood before our body here and said, let's not tax ourselves out of a good economy. And I think that this is a continuation of that, where we are going to put additional economic strains on our businesses, and this may lead to them leaving our state.
We've talked before, to the point of even it becoming sort of humorous, about confusing price and cost. And here we go again. You know, we're talking about a tax plan that's going to raise the taxes on Washington businesses by $1 billion. And in the same breath, we're talking about making college free. Well, if it costs $1 billion, it isn't free.